Saint Padre Pio worded it perfectly. The rosary is the weapon for our time. Hello and God bless. Welcome back to Gloriously Catholic. I am Glory, and today I want to talk about the rosary. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk about how I got into the rosary and how I started to pray it. As a cradle Catholic, the rosary wasn't something that was new to me. I remember praying the rosary with my parents occasionally at home as a teen, before I started working and not really going to church and my falling away from the church and the faith. So the rosary was something that I kind of knew about basically since my upbringing. During my reversion back into the Catholic faith and after doing the John 23 movement retreat that I mentioned in my reconversion story. I'll link that video down below if you haven't seen it already. But yes, after that retreat and during this reconversion process, I started to really pray the rosary, not every day, but I would pray it very often. And I would pray it sometimes with my parents on the phone. And so that kind of got me into picking up the rosary and praying it again. But it was still something that I struggled with as a Catholic, getting into it and actually praying it and just thinking it took too long and, it just was a little boring. At the beginning, I struggled with the rosary because, again, I thought it was too long, too time-consuming. I just took it as like another prayer added on, like almost like a chore or something that I had to do, and I wouldn't even do it every day. And it got to the point where it kind of fell away. Like I would just do it every once in a while if I remembered to do it, or if it came to mind, like maybe I should pray a rosary. But again, at the time, it wasn't a prayer or a devotion that I was really into, and I struggled with it a lot, like I think most Catholics do, or a lot of people do when they first pick it up or hear about it or try to do it. And those feelings started to kind of eat away at me and bother me because I felt like, okay, this is a rosary. I've seen many Catholics talk about it. I've seen lots of Catholics pray it, but why can't I really get into it? Why don't I understand it? Why can't it just come natural to me? It's something that I struggled with for a while, and I would see my parents pray the rosary not just once a day, like they prayed it multiple times a day, and they do this every day. And I was like, why can't I do that? Why can't I understand what it is about it that they can pray it and they can devoutly pray happily and say it and be stronger in their faith and see these changes in the sense where, like, little things that happen in life or little things that happen to us or along the road wouldn't bother them, or it wouldn't get to them, or they were secure in their faith where they knew things would be okay, things would turn out. And I remember also going to confession and adoration and seeing people with their rosaries during that time while they're trying to do their penances and just during adoration. I struggled with this for a few years. It wasn't even like just the start of, my reversion back into the faith, and once I reverted, everything was fine. Like, no, I struggled with the rosary, just prayer overall, and with, strengthening my faith. I've struggled, I still do, but I struggled specifically with that rosary for a few years. There was one night where I was just lying in bed, frustrated, overwhelmed, about to have a mental breakdown. I had already had my son and I had my oldest daughter at the time. And I remember just laying in bed thinking, how do all these other moms do it? They look so put together, they make everything look so easy. And I kind of felt like everything was slipping out from under me again. My mental health was again kind of taking a turn, not for the good, and I was feeling very overwhelmed with 2 kids being at home, and it was just, I felt like a mess. So I remember just grabbing my phone, going on YouTube and trying to check in the search like Catholic moms and that kind of stuff, because I just wanted to have an idea and see tips and tricks and kind of get some kind of information or advice or something that I could use that could help me be a better wife and a mother and try to get my stuff together. I wanted to quickly note that because of my ADHD and anxiety, it affects my ability to function both physically and mentally. I also wasn't diagnosed yet at the time, so I didn't know that I had ADHD or anxiety. So I struggled a lot with creating and maintaining routines for myself and my kids. I battled with many doubts and thoughts that I wasn't doing things correctly. I didn't know how to pray, let alone build and nurture my domestic church. I struggled with many insecurities, and I still do at times, so it's normal. Of course, I didn't know this was normal at the time either. I'm also sensory sensitive, and so are my kids, and I like to use my senses to learn. Therefore, I'm more drawn to visuals and audios because that's how I learn better, which is why I seek things out like Instagram, Reels, YouTube, videos, things like that. I also use other resources like prayer apps and audiobooks. At this point is when I found Heather from A Catholic Mom's Life. So Heather, if you're watching this, hi! And I remember watching a few of her videos. This was like almost 3 years ago now. And just starting to watch her videos back to back to back. And I was just so inspired and moved that I even showed my husband some of the videos, and I was like, look, there's a Catholic YouTuber, she's a mom and a wife, and it was so exciting. And I had also found Laura from What Laura Likes, and those were the 2 channels that really got me started and got me excited, because I was like, wow, okay, Catholic YouTubers, why didn't I think about this before? And so watching her videos kind of led me into the Rosary. Why? Because she ended up doing her 54-day Rosary novena, and I decided to try that and follow along with her. I toughed it out with Heather and I did the 54-day Rosary novena, and it was hard, it was a struggle, but I stuck to it and I did the Rosary every day for those 54 days. After those 54 days were up, I decided to kind of delve more into the Rosary and what it really was and the history and everything. And that's when I came across GabiAfterHours. So shout out to him, because he really inspired me, gave me so much information, and watching his videos, I learned a lot about the Rosary and the Miraculous Medal as well. So I'll link their channels down below if you guys want to go check them out. And in that process of, looking up the Rosary, what it was, watching GabiAfterHours, after doing the 54-day Rosary novena with Heather, I came across this beauty. And you'll see this a lot in my Instagram, so also if you're not following me over there, I'll link that down below. But you'll see me promoting this a lot on Instagram, and that is because this book, The Secret of the Rosary, is so life-changing. This little gem changed everything for me. This made me see and understand our Blessed Mother and her Rosary in such a different light. And after reading that, I could not go back. I finally unlocked the secret of the Rosary and was able to meditate on it and experience a different viewpoint on it. Like it changed my thinking on it. It changed my emotions on it. And I'll explain a little bit more of that in a minute. But I highly, highly, highly recommend that book. And that also led me to two other of Saint Louis de Montfort's books, which is this one right here, The Secret of Mary, and True Devotion to Mary. These three books will change your life. If you're struggling like me with the Rosary, if you're struggling to understand it, to pray it, or you just want to learn more about it, I highly recommend you get those books. If you decide to try these books out, then I suggest that you read them in this specific order. You should read The Secret of Mary, followed by The Secret of the Rosary, and then True Devotion to Mary, because this one's actually, included in here, it's like a 33-day novena preparation to consecrate yourself to Mary. Now I want to mention, during this process of reading The Secret of the Rosary, I visited my church, the church that I attend, that I'm a parishioner at, and we have a shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and I visited her. I knelt down and started to pray a rosary, and in that rosary, I remember asking our Blessed Mother, I said, show me, change my heart, give me a love for your rosary, help me to pray your rosary devoutly, show me, instill in me how to pray this rosary of yours so that I can do it correctly. And since that day, I have not failed to pray a rosary daily. My love and devotion to the rosary has grown so much, and it continues to grow. The more I pray, the more I meditate, and the more that I ask Our Lady to help me and to pray through me, in me, and she does not disappoint. And so I feel this call and this need to share this devotion, to spread it, to promote it, and encourage everyone and anyone to pray the rosary. It is so powerful. Like, once you understand, once you truly unlock and you get this knowledge, gain this unlocking of what this rosary is, what it means, how to pray it, how to love our mother, you can't go back, and you start to see the signal graces. You start to feel like you feel this attachment to the rosary, or at least that's how it's been for me. And it's also one of my main focuses over on my Instagram page, and one of the reasons why I started it, along with, trying to learn, in addition to sharing what I've learned, and so that we can learn all things Catholic together, and trying to connect with other Catholic women, wives, moms, Catholic parents, or just Catholics in general, because I feel like we as Catholics need to start evangelizing and start teaching each other and supporting and bringing each other up. And so that is what I am trying to do with my Instagram, and as well now my YouTube channel. But back to the rosary, I think it is a prayer and devotion that every Catholic should be doing every day, and make it a part of your daily routine. Please feel free to message me or comment down below with any questions or testimonies or anything you'd like to share with me about the rosary, or your story or testimony about the rosary. And I will definitely be sharing more videos about the rosary, its history, how to pray the rosary, the mysteries, everything, along with other devotions and prayers in the future. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video, or at least found some of it helpful or inspiring in some way. At the very least, I hope it got you intrigued or interested in learning more about the Rosary and praying it more and what it can really do and what it means. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. May God bless and keep you. Bye.